And we are live. I'm Jim Andre, your host, and my co-host Bradley Powers. And what happened to that guest you had lined up, Bradley?
I guess. Are you talking about la la?
Yes,
No,
sir. Yeah.
Sorry.
What- You're the one. You're the one that discovered him, not I.
Sorry. I want to get the name right. That's all right. I've never pronounced a name like that in my life, to be honest.
Well, what did he
But
say? He goes. He goes.
Geese is cool. That's a cool name, that is.
He goes
Yeah,
as
Geese.
Geezy.
You know what I mean?
Geezy.
If you're a Geese, you're a Geese, aren't you? You are in Essex, where I come from. A lot of geezers in Essex there are, Jim. Seriously. I've never seen so many geezers in my life.
So I guess
Really.
basically we're just going to have to wing it.
Yeah, really. Well, I've got, who we got with us? Bobby Stoikowski. How are you there? Bobby Stoikowski is in the house. And so is Lisa Io and Carol Garcia. Very kind of you to join. Jim, oh my God. God, you look spooky there, Jim.
What's that?
Can't see you.
Well, I'm trying to check something out. Hold on 1 second.
Thank you for everyone for joining us anyway. It's a pleasure to have you near us. We've got quite a few subjects we could discuss today. Like, I don't know if you look on my timeline, we haven't got an image. I should have brought an image with me, shouldn't I? Unless I send you one, Jim. I don't know. It's too late, isn't it now? Can I send you a map of the UN hanging up? A map hanging up in the UN.
Well, go ahead. Oh, we got Jim coming on board.
Oh, right, okay.
How you
I'm
doing,
going to
Jim?
do it anyway. Oh, hi there, Jim. Thank you for joining us. Jim's got us out of trouble. Jim's safe
Doctor
today.
come in. Doctor come in. Can you hear me, Jim?
We can hear you fine. Yep.
Well, doctor come in. He just told me that they're going to put a PIC line in me and either send me home or send me to a nursing facility for that antibiotic. I said I prefer home.
Yeah. So are they
he
going to
said
arrange that for you?
he said it wouldn't let it happen today. He said it'd be the next few days.
So they're going to arrange that for you?
That's what he said. He said it would be today. He said it'd be the next 2 or 3 days sometime.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's better than being there for another month, right?
No, yeah. No, I wouldn't stay in this hospital a month. I'd get up and walk the hell out of this son bitch before I do that. What happened?
Yeah.
Your other guest didn't show up?
Yeah.
No, it
show.
looks promising.
Yeah, no show.
Maybe. Might be a mystery guest. It might happen. It's very
Carol
interesting.
Garcia. Lisa A.O. Hi, Lisa.
Yeah, hi, Lisa. Lisa Io. Hi there.
And Bobby Stavesky says, hello, lads.
Yeah.
There's geezers everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, he's
Bobby
talking about
Stoikowski's a geezer.
he's talking about your old ass, Andrew. He ain't talking about me and Brad. We ain't geezers yet.
Yeah, well, I admit I'll be 70 in September, but I look younger than you guys.
Yeah, but you're still a senior citizen in the room.
That's right. So therefore, you must what? Respect your elders.
No. Why should I respect you? You don't respect me, butthole.
Well, how do you know why? How do you say that? How can you say that I don't respect you?
You give me hell all the time, so I'm gonna give you hell. Hell with you.
That's because I'm older and I'm wiser, and I try to give you good advice. But that's up to you whether you want to take it or not. Oh, we got him. Geezy came through.
I sent you the map, Jim. I don't know if you've got time to put it on the show.
We got Geezy here.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
You finally made
Oh,
it.
welcome to the show. Thank you so much for turning up.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. It's good to have you.
Jim, have you got time to share that show? Or is it too late? I mean, share that map.
What map is that? Where is it?
I've just on your inbox, messenger inbox. I just sent you a map that's hanging up in the UN, and it shows the world with other continents outside the ice wall.
All right, let me see if I can get that up on the screen for the
I'd be good if you could.
viewers to see.
Yeah, so Geese, that's a cool name actually. In Essex, where I come from, there's a lot of geezers.
Right on. Well, thank you. So, what's the subject at hand? Is it still the aliens, extraterrestrials, and UFOs?
Yeah, basically. But here's a map that Bradley wanted to show. So go ahead, Bradley. What about this map?
Oh. If you look at it, that's a map of the world, allegedly. This is the true image of the world, or a replication of the true image of the world. It's quite hard to distinguish. But it's showing what a lot of people think, that there's an ice wall, and outside the ice wall are other continents with life on them. Huge continents outside the ice wall.
So you're
How do
trying
we
to
know
say,
this to be true or untrue? How do we know this?
so you're trying to say that there's places we haven't been before?
Yeah, that are not on the world. They're not on the globe.
Well, they're probably not on there by design. I'm sure we've been there. We've got the technology.
Allegedly, there's only one image, true image of the Earth, and that was that was photographed in 1972, and that's the only true photograph of the Earth, allegedly. That's what's going around.
How can that be the only original one when you had the space station out there for 20-something years?
That's what they say.
Well, it's definitely an interesting theory. I mean,
So I
anything's
wanted you to
possible.
have a look at that anyway. See, what do you think? Do you think there is an ice wall? Do you think there are continents outside the ice wall? That's what I'm asking. What do you think?
You know, it could be
Gee.
anything is possible. So you just don't know. You know, until we get a rocket, until we actually go there ourselves and check it out. You know, I mean, there's a big thing about Antarctica to begin with. You know, even without all these other, extension world, maps. But even Antarctica, we've seen pictures of alien-like structures, or all kinds of secrets. You know, we've heard the globalists and a lot of high-profile people go to the Antarctica and places like that and check it out, but we're not allowed to go, right? If we go over there, we'll get shot or something. You know, they threaten us that we can't go there. But I'm sure you guys have heard about that. We've seen articles like that in the past few years, and I'm sure it's been around for a long time.
That's right. Yeah. The truth is, we don't really know what's
But one thing's for sure. I mean, there's definitely some weird things going on over there, whether it's man-made structures. I don't know if any of you guys know any more about that. I just know the surface level of it, that there's structures there, this, that, and the other. And it's kind of, there's a lot of weird, strange phenomenons that go around here. You know, it's like you hear about Antarctica is just one of many of them.
Have you experienced much strange phenomena, Geese?
Me personally, I don't think so. I wish I could tell you. I've had friends tell me all kinds of interesting stories. I mean, seeing UFOs and stuff. People who have gone to Alaska, and they say that they see the three dots, or the three red dots or green dots or whatever, and three lights, and they're there, and then they all of a sudden move very fast. And I've heard certain other people say similar things in other documentaries of UFOs, you know, like Stephen Greer stuff and maybe other stuff as, you know, other documentaries as well. But I mean, we have our you know, the co-host you said you have experienced, you know.
So I've got a question for you. Like you're talking about extraterrestrials. How do you know like the stories of them are genuine? What makes you inspires you to believe they exist?
Well, I mean, it's just it's I would say it's common sense. I would say it's you know, the Drake formula comes up, you know, even if you think of like an equation, and even then people say that it's even more expansive than that. But if you're familiar with the Drake formula, right, or the Drake equation, and how he is a scientist, I forget what, it was like 60s, 70s, maybe even later, and he made the Drake equation proving that aliens exist. I mean, there was like talk that, oh, there's no aliens, there's you know, there's no such thing as aliens, whatever, this and that. But then he did the equation of seeing, well, if there's this many planets on this many solar systems, this many galaxies, so on and so forth. Well, I mean, it doesn't take to be a brain surgeon to figure out, well, there's obviously some life form out there, you know, there's obviously some aliens. And, you know, there's so many theories that say there's good ones, bad ones, this, that, you know, who knows until we see it. And then, like you guys were saying before, that the fake aliens, not only is there aliens, but there's also fake aliens. Are they going to try to do a fake alien invasion or something?
Yeah, well, it's hard to sort out what's real and what isn't. Bobby Stozvetsky says that you look like a politician or a person in authority.
Well, you know,
Hey,
gotta
Bobby,
be presentable, you know.
hey,
Gotta
Bobby's
get
got a good.
I like that.
Bobby's got a good point
He
there.
said it. He said it. There's nothing wrong in looking like a politician now, is there?
Bobby's got a good point there. You're not a politician trying to invade our knowledge, are you? Or are you an agent of some sort that's
You know,
He said
studying,
also a person in
studying what we
authority.
know
That's
or what
right.
we don't know?
That's respect, that is.
yeah, you
That's
know,
respect.
well, I do this show called Geezy Truth News, and we don't usually talk about UFOs or stuff. I mean, very rarely, but it's out there, you know. I mean, it's the government
Yeah.
has announced it. The military announced it. Everybody's announced it. There's been
Yeah, that's
disclosure,
right.
and so nobody talks
Yeah.
about it. So I want to get the word out more. Everybody should just talk about it more, because it's not a
Yeah, I agree
conspiracy
with that.
theory. It's not spooky.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not
right.
real.
You're a light worker.
It's
That's
not
what
fake.
you are.
So
A truth seeker as well.
Highly evolved love says an illusion so vast, so large, it will escape their perceptions.
yeah. So what are the newest developments? Is there any like recent alien UFO? I haven't been in the loop. I haven't looked into it recently. I just know that it pops up. You know, even news stations mention.
Well,
that,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of lately. There's been a lot of increased sightings. You know, different areas.
There you go.
And there was like a couple of years ago, you can't forget that they shut down the radio nuclear plants all over the country, all over the world. Wow, they've done that, and that
Yeah,
took them 24 hours to reboot them. Do you remember that, Jim?
Yeah, I do. I got a problem with my cam here.
Okay.
Something's messing
Geez,
with
do you
me
remember
over
a story going around like that?
Might be the aliens messing with the technology.
here. I believe so. To be honest with you.
They wanted to prove a point, and I think it might have been getting a bit heated, you know, around the world, and they cooled it down. They just, proved the point. They're the governors. They can do what they want.
Yeah, it's either the aliens or the powers that be. One of the two.
Mhm. Yeah, and there's things that I would like to learn more about. Like one of the things that made me more interested about aliens that you guys were asking what's going on is that Nikola Tesla. I read books about Nikola Tesla, and he was saying how he was like trying to. There's some experiments that he was trying to talk to aliens and
Yeah,
stuff like
trying to
that.
communicate. Yeah.
Colorado Springs and places like that. He was trying to do stuff, and then I'm not exactly sure what happened. I mean, one thing's for sure is apparently the FBI or somebody that went in, government agency went in and just raided his place and just took all his shit apparently.
Oh
And
yeah. Yeah.
and they just raided him apparently. Like that's as far as that's what I read. And so it's just crazy, like an intelligent guy like that.
Yeah. When he died, they went in and they cleaned him out and they just confiscated all his material, all his you know drafts and everything with all his
Right.
experiments
Hey,
and
Well, and even before that, I thought they were doing that, and he was trying to, do the, uh, I forget what that it was like, Wardenclyffe Tower or something like that. He was trying to do
yeah,
all
well,
kinds
yeah,
of,
he had a way of providing free energy, and of course they didn't want that because they'd be
yeah.
losing a lot of money, you know.
I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, this sounds like you read the story and like the J.P. Morgan Chase or whatever the story, like the way that they put it, it's like you can't even make this up. They say it's like nonfiction is crazier than fiction. And it's like you read these stories, like, how is that possible? This guy's trying to help everybody, as the story goes, and they shoot him down, shut down his projects, whatnot. So,
is that an American flag in the background?
yep, the American
Yeah.
flag,
Um,
Are you saying you're a patriot?
definitely, definitely.
You're a patriot. Well, that's good. I'm a patriot too. I'm a patriot to the cause, and I serve the greater good. That's what I like to think. And the greater good's whatever you want it to be.
That's right. Everybody should be a patriot.
well,
So,
you're a patriot to the cause, but the fact is, we are the cause.
yeah, and
and never will be the solution.
yeah. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's definitely peculiar, and you guys were talking about more about the phenomenons, and I read this. If you guys are familiar with this one, this is just mind blowing. How the atomic bomb phenomenon, where it's like, well, there's a couple things I wanted to say. Is like, first of all, the aliens during like World War II, allegedly they like shut down the nuclear atomic bombs. I mean, like no, it was unexplainable. Nobody could explain it. There's like
Right.
articles like that. They're saying, oh yeah, we were gonna do something, this and that, but somehow for magical reason or another, it's like it got disabled. Nobody knows, and stories like that is very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
there was a news article on Larry King Live, which is a reputable news outlet. They had he had five military guys on there, and they all attested to the fact that when UFOs are seen over nuclear silos, they have the technology to cut the power to the nuclear weaponry. And it takes the military over 24 hours to reboot the system to firing status. And that's not only happened here in the U.S., but other military bases worldwide.
yeah, yeah. So again, with the phenomenons, the unexplainables, it's like something's going on.
Well, they gotta intervene to save the planet, because if we destroy the planet, that's going to have a domino effect, on the rest of the universe and the solar system. So they got to do that to protect them, not only planet Earth but themselves as well.
Mhm. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I wonder if the invasion. You said there will be a fake alien invasion. I wonder when that's going to happen. Are they going to try to do
Yeah,
that?
yeah. From my sources, from what I gather, there's going to be a false flag alien invasion. We have the holograms, the technology we have today with the holograms. You could attend a Michael Jackson concert like he's really up there on stage when he
Oh yeah,
isn't. But you know, So I mean, they're going to have these crafts in the sky, or what appear to be alien crafts, firing weapons. When in reality, the weapons themselves will be fired by the military, and that's just another tool of fear. That's what they use. They've been using religion as a fear tactic for control for thousands of years. You know, the COVID virus, it's all fear. Now they try to control that on a worldwide scale. You know, they're testing the waters to see how compliant everybody will be. I mean, it's all obvious. You know, the writing's on the wall. You know, that's just going to be another fear tactic for the masses to be afraid of extraterrestrials, which could be the furthest thing from the truth itself.
Yeah, and it's just really impressive to say the least. I mean, it's just, you know, you could look at it as that is evil. It's, you know, whatever, you know, of course, but just to see how they're putting so much effort into all these fronts. I mean, they did it with the COVID, and you know, they're going to be with the fake alien invasion, and then with the economy and inflation, and
Right.
then the FDA, and then
Yeah,
the
they
water,
control everything. Exactly.
everything. It's like, it's amazing. The fluoride in the water, and the inflation in the banking, and this and that, and it's just, you know.
And all these trails, everything. I mean, they
Oh
pollute
yeah,
the
you
air.
see all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, they pollute the air. They use pesticides on the food that we eat. Now, them GMOs, when they're spraying them crops, them guys they have hazard mat suits on. What does that tell you? And
Yeah.
we're eating that.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's barium and aluminium that they put in the chemtrails. And if you take the scientific initials of them, like the sigils, BA for barium and AL for aluminium spells Baal, and Baal's the devil god.
yeah, in a
Don't know if you
form of
know
the
that.
in a form of the word cabal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Cabal, classic. You know, they're doing a lot of things. You know, and the big thing was, like, you know, the whole pedogate thing. That was, you know, just everything on all fronts. You know, they're doing the kids, they're doing this, they're doing that, the fentanyl, they're doing the drugs, they're pumping the drugs. It's like, dude, it's everything. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's like,
And Bobby says Tesla was in contact with ETs, also had an ability to access the Akashic records.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, you can't debate that. Because he was. It's like he was in tune with a higher consciousness. Because he was such a genius at some of the things.
Yeah, they claim that he was born on a stormy night. It was thundering. He was born at exactly midnight. I don't know if that had anything to do with his abilities, but he was also, he was a genius, really. He did all kinds of experiments. He was
that's
involved.
for sure.
Yeah, he was involved with that Montauk project there, sort of like a time travel experiment.
Right.
And yeah, he was a genius.
Yeah.
And he never really got the credit he deserved. You know?
Right.
His name got erased from history books.
Well, they squashed most of. I mean, he wanted to keep going, but they, you know, squashed him. You know, they just threw him back down. Like all these. I mean, imagine how many amazing inventors there are out there. It's like, I wish I was that smart to figure out some inventions or figure this or that.
Yeah, there was a couple of guys that could run an automobile engine on water.
Exactly. I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah, water and hydrogen, and they put the kibosh on that right away.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if I remember correctly, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if they shot and killed him. I mean, this is like,
one of two things happen. You accept their offer to back down, you know, whatever how many millions they want to pay you, or bite the dust.
Yeah, so it's amazing, and trying to pay attention to all the news now, it's like barely.
Well, that's not news. That's just false information. That's all that is.
Yeah, it's a lot of you know, there's a lot of ridiculous stuff going on. So we'll have to just keep on updating and see what's going on. But what else is there to say? Like,
Well, like, I like to think we talk about words. Our words carry clarity, and we can support a lot of what we say. Like, I don't really follow the path of conspiracy theories that are a bit out of the box, but there again, they're all out of the box, really. 911, that's out of the box. I mean, who'd have thought that? I mean, like the destruction of the towers. What's that, sabotage?
oh, you're talking about 9/11?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, there's all these are false flags. Like
yeah, that's
everything
right.
is so fishy.
It wasn't terrorists that did that act. I'm
So
sure of that.
what that? Sorry.
Well, it
that
was
cons-
terrorism. It was terrorism in a way, but that was on the home front. That was no foreign terrorists that pulled that off.
What kind of conspiracy theory is that? Really, it's more
Well,
like the
you
truth.
ever notice that when the government questions the citizens, it's called an investigation. But when the citizens question the government, they twist it around and call it a what? Conspiracy theory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, and we just use it as a conspiracy. You could call it conspiracy fact. You could call it investigation. You could call it. I mean, conspiracy is just when you look at the definition, it's a group of people talking about something. At face value, anybody can do anything about. Anybody's conspiracy.
Anything is possible.
But
Yeah.
it's like you said, it's like when the writing is on the wall, or just like when you just it just seems that something is off. And when you look into the research, you look into all this stuff. I mean, you're asking what happened in 9/11. I mean, I'm by no means an expert on the matter. Who is an expert on the matter is a guy named Professor James Fetzer. And there's many people like him too that are really studied it, and they look at the government. They call it the government account, or like what happened. When you read the government account of what happened in 9/11, it's like what the hell is this? Like, this isn't what happened. Or like, you would think there's so many weird mishaps, many there's a lot of people, like there's so many groups, like engineers of 9/11, architects of 9/11, all saying like there's no way that that could have happened with this mathematical equations and the rest of it. So what happened is we don't know, but we for sure know is that there's a lot of shady stuff. People say that it was Israel involvement, Saudi Arabia, our own government involvement. They're all in cahoots. That's pretty much the main conspiracy theory, is that they were all in cahoots and did this to do the Patriot, what do they call it? The Patriot Act or whatever. And it was like,
Right.
it was ridiculous. Where it's like, they practically took the Constitution away. It's like,
But a lot of it is common sense as well. I like to get into some of them points when we come back. We're going to do a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
All right.
Okay, we are back. Okay, a lot of that common sense with that 911, a lot of that with 911 is common sense. They showed over and over again for like 24 hours them two planes, a video of them two planes hitting the towers, which in my opinion is a big disrespect for the families of those victims that were involved, number one. Number two, they claim a plane hit the Pentagon. First of all, the Pentagon is one of the most secure airspaces in the world. There's no way that they would allow a 747 to get through that airspace and hit the Pentagon to begin with. Number two, there's hundreds of security cameras around the Pentagon. They can't show one video of a plane hitting the Pentagon, but yet they'll show them that CGI of two jets hitting them buildings over and over again for 24 hours. It's all common sense. And back then on the news, when you seen the debris at the Pentagon, there was nothing in the debris that resembled an airplane. No wing, no fuselage, no tail section, no engines. And I seen a clip of a video when the explosion occurred at the Pentagon, and it showed a projectile going through two light poles. Okay, the building blew up, and the light poles were still standing. If that was a 747, it would have taken down them light poles as well.
Definitely, and that is there's so many. There's thousands of many errors of the whole 9/11 thing.
Yeah, I mean, and them buildings, they collapsed in their own footprint.
Oh, and that's classic. All the architects, all the
The only
demolition
way that
guys
can
say
happen is with a controlled demolition.
exactly. It's I mean, no, you talk to any of those expert demolition guys, like that was a demolition. There's
Of course.
And then before
And
9/11, they say
don't forget the trillions of dollars in debt that was wiped off the face of the earth. Trillions of dollars in debt owed by the government was wiped off because of that, because the evidence, it was all computerized.
Yeah, a day before that happened, they said there was trillions of dollars missing from the Pentagon.
Yeah, and then it's just one thing after another. It was the Larry Silverstein, he had the insurance. Somehow he got that when those towers fell, he was able to claim like $1 trillion, he was able to claim insurance money from the 9/11.
Yeah, that's true as well. They were fresh insurance policies on both buildings. He increased its value.
Yeah, all very sketchy. And then of course how they somehow magically were able to find the passport of like one of the
and that building
building. That's classic.
Right, yeah,
I remember that. It's like, we found the passport. It's like, how the hell is that possible?
That building literally dustified, and yet that passport was there, right?
Yeah, I'll never forget that. They brought the passport. They're like, look, we found it.
What about it? Why did it reduce to the floor like it's been used demolition?
And another thing is, why did the third building go down? It didn't get hit by a plane.
W7. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it went down in the same exact way within its own footprint.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, exactly. Nobody ever talks about WT7.
That's right.
That's always they just pulled them all, just to, it's just,
a bomber crashed into a building.
My guess is that they had a lot of information in that third building that they didn't want to be discovered.
Definitely. Yeah, well, it was like a FBI or CIA headquarters. I don't remember which, but it was an important building.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was a government building, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
During the war, there was a bomber that crashed into a skyscraper, and you know what? All it did was wipe out that floor. The gasoline went all over the floor. But like it didn't, the structure stood because it's made of steel, iron girders.
That's right.
Yep.
And in all that rubble, they had hardly any iron left. It was mostly like cement dust.
Mm-hmm.
So they used some kind of technology that just obliterated that building.
And was there a plane that hit the Pentagon? There was no cameras on. The cameras were on 24/7. They weren't on. And also the airspace. You can't get nowhere near the Pentagon with the airspace. It's heavily protected, I would have thought.
That's right.
What happened to the Pentagon plane? Where's there's
Yeah.
nothing to say a
Yeah,
Pentagon
I
plane
mean,
hit the
it's all
Pentagon.
common sense.
Some say that was a bomb.
Yeah, it's all common sense if you stop to think about it.
Yeah, and so it's always one false flag after another. They really outdid themselves with the COVID one. That's the
Oh
most
my
recent
goodness.
one.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy. You know, to me, I mean, COVID is just another variant of the flu that arrives every season, you know.
Yeah, of course. And again, and we can come up with all these crazy. There's thousands of weird anomalies with the whole COVID thing too. It's like how the flu statistics disappeared when COVID started.
Right,
It was
exactly.
like there's so many things. There's so much ridiculous garbage out there, and to think you would even entertain the idea of that is ridiculous. But people had to go to work, people have to do this, people have to do that, people have to it's what isn't Thomas Jefferson said, it's like you got to choose freedom over security, because if you choose security you deserve neither.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Right.
So people forget, people just got to read what the founding fathers were saying, because it was all there.
Now look at the Spanish flu, 1918, right?
Perfect. Yeah.
Now that was literally a tough flu, right?
Not only
Now
that,
that killed millions worldwide, but the only ones quarantined back then were the sick. You know what I mean? And they
not
didn't
only
put it, and they
yeah.
didn't put any stipulations on everybody worldwide. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? They didn't make them wear masks. They didn't make them isolate, even if they weren't sick. Everybody stays 6 feet apart and all that baloney. And another thing that really got me was when they were talking about releasing prisoners
Oh yeah,
because of the COVID-19, right?
that was very funny. They're still doing
And
it.
I'm saying to myself, if they're already isolated, they want you to isolate, right? If they're already isolated and in prison, why would they let them out into society to begin with? It just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
Because what makes sense now is everything is opposite. Left is right, up is down.
Right.
This is what they want now. Like they
Right,
want everything to
exactly.
be opposite.
They
And
just want to see how compliant the sheeples are
yeah,
going to be.
and it's amazing. And most people are just following along. It's really
Yeah.
it's what it seems like. But at the same time, I always want to say that I'm optimistic.
So I've got a question for you,
People are waking
Geezy.
up.
Did you wear a mask?
Do I
Did
wear
you wear
a
a mask? Yeah.
No, obviously I didn't do anything. I almost got arrested. I did get arrested multiple times at multiple places. I would go. I got banned and arrested multiple places trying to go there. I was trying to buy some tangerines. I went to a store one day. This was like a couple of years ago, or like 2020, 2021, when like at the height of it, when they were all flipping out. And I went to the store to buy myself some tangerines or something. And I was like minding my own business. And this lady comes out of nowhere and like grabs the tangerines. I like tries to violently grabs them out of my hand, and she like pretty much yells at me, like, "Oh, you need to leave! Like you need to put a mask on, blah, 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 this and that." And I'm like, "Lady, I'm just trying to buy some tangerines. Like, leave me alone. Like, what do you want from me?" He's like, "You need to wear a mask, this and that." It's like, I'm not. It's a free country. I don't need to. Why would I need to? Like, I'm a healthy guy. Like, I'm doing fine. You know?
Back in 21, they were saying, I live in Lake Wales, Florida, Central Florida. They were saying that Florida was a hot spot and that thousands were dying every day.
Oh yeah, and that's classic too, because Florida ended up there's 100. I don't know how many people. You have like 500,000 people moving into Florida every month. I don't know if it's
we get
over
we got something like 22 million people in this state.
Yeah, everybody's coming to Florida because everybody else is sick of their shit. Everybody's sick of their
exactly
crap.
Exactly.
And Ron DeSantis, people like him. A lot of people like
he's
him.
a wonderful governor.
Yeah, people are like, hey,
because he didn't fall for their bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He didn't make all that shit mandatory.
Right.
And our economy thrived during that time.
Definitely.
Compared to most other places.
Of course. And we saw people, even
like I was saying,
the COVID people.
Yeah, like I was saying, I had a roommate and he's like 55 years old, but he's got bronchitis and asthma since a child, right? And he would have breathing episodes. So while they're saying this is a hot spot a couple of times I had to bring him to the emergency room because he had trouble breathing, and the hospital is like a ghost town.
Yeah.
And at the same time,
Wow.
the news media, mainstream news media, is saying, "Oh, the hospitals are overcrowded, overwhelmed.
Right.
They've got tractor trailer freezers with bodies outside the hospitals." Come on.
It's amazing. And I heard exactly what you just said. It's amazing how, again,
Yeah.
everything
It
is
just goes
opposite
to
day.
show you
They say they're
how
just
life
feeding
is
us
cheap.
bullshit.
Life is cheap.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In
They're
the eyes
feeding
of the American
you
government.
go outside and everything is just hunky dory,
I mean,
besides what they're pulling.
and
Everything that we
Pete,
complain about is what they're
yeah,
pulling.
and my roommate Pete at the time, and myself and my dad's, he's going to be 99 in April.
Wow.
We've been going all around without a mask. We never had a problem.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And so
Michael Ann Gilpin said she had a dream about 911. What was that about, Michael?
yeah. But yeah, finish pretty much the tangerine lady that took the tangerines. She ended up calling the cops. I tried to buy him, and the cops came and arrested me and banned me from the store. It was
For not wearing a mask.
Yeah, and for not wearing a mask. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I told the cop, like, "What are you, a brown shirt in Nazi Germany? Like, what are you doing here?" It's like, what crime did I? And that's another thing. What crime did I commit? 'Cause it wasn't a crime. It was a it was a mandate, right? It's like a mandate's not a law, right?
That's like a misdemeanor.
And the cop was just wasn't having it. He's like, "Hey, sorry, this is the rules. This is what I got to do." He's being told what to do, like everybody else. It's like I got to do. It's like, okay, you might as well shoot me.
It's all about control. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Bobby's
It's been
asking,
like
how's
that
your
for a couple-
roommate
but
today?
what about
Mike?
in America when you had the North versus the South? That's really sad times, isn't it? Don't you think? Your ancestors fought were either blue or grey, weren't they?
Yeah, let me answer
Or
Bobby's
Native American Indian.
Let me answer Bobby's question here. He's asking how your roommate is today. As far as I know, he's doing pretty good, but he's not here any longer. He moved back to Massachusetts.
Yeah, so
Thanks for the question, Bobby.
I'm hoping things are turning around. I'm hoping people are, people are figuring it out. You got to be your own bank. You got to grow your own food, all the commonsensical stuff. Like, the best that you can. Obviously, not all of us. Some people, you got to work hard, play hard. You got to, you got to you got to work for to try to get what you can, and especially it's tough right now with inflation and everything. But, you got to do what you got to do.
Donald Klingerman says, what a great show, everyone. Thank you, Donald.
Yeah, thank you. And, again, thank you for having me. You guys are great. And, it's good to just talk about all the current events with no filter, because everywhere else is just you get banned or censored or this or that or all this crap. Yeah. And it's just like enough with all this. The American people need to speak. The world needs to speak. It's like I do my show about America, but it's also everybody is, they say the awakening, everybody's waking up in the world. Well, I hope so. You got to be eternally optimist, because otherwise, where else are you going to go? You're just going to go to the grave.
Right, exactly.
Sorry to interrupt. We're going to answer. We're going to read Michael Ann Gilpin's question. She's in a hospital at the moment, and she's saying, "So I kept getting a dream, awaking at 911, kept seeing 2 buildings fall. This was about 1 year prior. Also, remembered about once bomb. Dreamt a week before it happened."
Yeah,
that's psychic, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's psychic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so what do you think about psychic, Geese? What do you think about psychic phenomena?
Oh, well, they say that we're all telepathic, psychic. I mean, everybody, the things that I've read, the things that you just, apparently we all have superpowers, or like you can unlock your potential. I mean, they've said a long time ago, I read a long time ago that we only use 10% of our brain or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if you could unlock the 90%, the rest of it, and we talk about all these things, but there's no way I can prove to you about anything. It's just, we're all just pondering about all this stuff. But there's also ancient texts from the Bible and ancient Indian texts from 5,000 years ago saying the same exact things. So it makes you wonder, and then they keep coming up with new crap every day, new technologies. They're saying all new theories, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. All I can say, like my words are binding. I'm sincere and I talk from the heart. Paranormal phenomena is real. I've encountered some myself, and that was what makes me even believe even more because I now know paranormal phenomena exist, and like we are all psychic, but we just need to recognise with ourselves. Recognize who we are. Try not to get too stressed out because keep being stressed out is what holds you, stops you from being psychic. But some people are blessed with being psychic, and some people are born with it.
That is exactly right, and it's amazing. Some people have tremendous powers. Amazing, like what was his name? Edgar Casey.
Well, Tim Andre is a quantum healer, and he can heal
Amazing.
cancer. And I've spoken to some of his patients. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. I mean, there's people like that. There's, it's amazing. It's if only we could do that. I mean, people were coming to him. Presidents were coming to him. Everybody was coming to him to abuse his power, and it had ultimately deteriorated him. And he said that.
Yeah. I've experienced quantum mysticism all of my life, and I recognise it. Now I do. I'm wising up and understand. It's starting to make sense now what I've witnessed. But yeah, like spiritual entities do exist in the next life. Other intelligent life forms exist. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, and I
But
can't wait to meet the aliens.
encounter
That's going to be always fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So but I admire your spirit because you haven't seen them. How does one expect you to believe them? But like I've had on my show Esoteric Hours, I interviewed loads of alien contactees, alien abductees, and they all had similar stories to tell. Yeah, they couldn't all be delusional, surely.
Right.
If any at all. Some of them, well, many of them had implants on their person, under their flesh and their skin, to prove that they've been abducted.
Where did
So,
Jim
like, you
go?
can't argue with that.
Did Jim sign out, or I guess his connection
No,
issues got to him?
he'd be back, I reckon. I hope so.
Right. Well, that's pretty
It's
cool.
big,
I
yeah.
mean, I guess we'll just see. What can I tell you? I guess we'll just see what happens. We'll see the aliens. Who's gonna work with who and when they're gonna come, and people say that there's good and bad ones, but I subscribe to the theory where they got to be all good, because otherwise, I mean, the ones that are able to travel through space, to have that kind of technology, to have that kind of power, you got to be kind of a benevolent, you got to be kind of you got to be able to be good, otherwise, I mean, you never know, you really never
I've
know.
learned that there are some narcissistic people out there that have been blessed with paranormal phenomena. Like they've got a paranormal gift, it might be telekinesis or something like that, psychic medium, but they can use it to manipulate if they're dark, if they're narcissistic. So it's unfortunate that only you think only good people would be blessed with gifts, but that's not exactly true. And I think that's sad, really.
Right. I mean, that's having the different powers as a person, that's one thing, but to be able to go through space, or I mean, you're talking about the aliens, like to be able to have that kind of technology, it's like you got to be able to, like, what are you going to do? So you're an alien from light years away, you come over here to this planet to do what? Or like you somehow you want to come say, and it's what Jim was saying earlier about, well, they're coming over here to defend the planet and themselves, because they don't want us to screw it up.
Exactly.
And that makes sense. And if, but at the end of the day, you never know.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, even as far as extraterrestrials, all species, I'm sure there's a positive and a negative and a good and bad intentions, but
Yep.
I've got Donald Klingerman says, "What a great show, everyone." Thank you for that, Donald Klingerman. That's really decent of you.
yeah, there's so much that goes on that it's actually mind-boggling,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so bizarre that that's probably why the majority of people don't believe or are afraid to face the truth, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll get there, We'll get there.
So how long? There's a term called awake. How long have you been awake, Geese? Or
How long have I been awake?
yeah, to you recognise that the world is not what it seems.
Probably since I was 12 years old, the first thing
Yeah, that's
I
good.
watched a documentary called Zeitgeist when I was 12, and that started pretty much my figuring out, oh man, I mean, it was like, it's unfortunate because ignorance is bliss, right? But it is what it is.
Yeah,
You figure it, you gotta pay the piper, you gotta figure it out. It's like, if it is what it is, then
yeah.
a lot of it.
Kate Houston says there has to be both to keep the balance, right? Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
Oh
You
yeah,
can't
of course.
know one without the other.
Yep. No, yeah, there's duality and triality. You got to have the up and down, and you got to have the Gandhi, and you have to have the Hitler, and you got to have, the universe is, it's all entertainment at the end of the day. That's what I like.
You mentioned Hitler, and basically the 1% are just taking over where Hitler left off, but in a very different manner.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Bobby Stoikevsky says in 1949, an American general killed another American general for Hitler's Spear of Destiny that supposedly was on exhibition at the Habsburg Museum. So Hitler had a Spear of Destiny and two
Interesting.
generals.
Yeah, I don't know much about that.
Well,
Facebook users asking, could the aliens be here for our resources? I don't think so. Their technology is so far advanced.
Yeah, why would they?
Yeah, really.
It's like Star Trek. You guys heard like Gene Roddenberry was a 33-degree Mason, and that's why like when Star Trek, they came up with all these inventions. I mean, there was no cell phones back then, and yet he had, they had like cell phone type devices, and like the atomizer where it's like you just click whatever you want in like the app, or you want a cheeseburger and the cheeseburger just comes up or whatever, that kind of there's so many like technologies from that he's talking about. You wouldn't need what would you come
right,
in
exactly
see our gold? You're not going to need it.
exactly.
Like, we got apples and gold, but if you already have it, why do you need it? It's like, what do they need from us?
Yeah, beam me up, Scotty.
But at the end, you have all these bizarre, because all these theories, which I don't try to downplay any of them. To me, anything is possible. Anything is reality. It's like quantum physics. Like, you throw a ball a billion times, into a ball into a wall, it's going to go through one of these days. It's like,
right, exactly.
Anything is possible. So, so that's that. But they say like the bad, or like the aliens that'll come like dissect us or whatever. They need our adrenochrome or some shit like that. It's
right.
There's endless theories of all these like crazy things, and it's like I wouldn't lose sleep over it. It's like, it is what it is. Like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, Facebook users saying like the Anunnaki mingling or mining, I guess, for our gold. Well, I don't know. With their technology, they wouldn't have to use us as slaves to mine gold. They could just.
Yeah, I don't buy it. I'd be amazed.
They'd have their own advanced technology where they could,
You're telling me they're coming
easier
100
way to
million?
access it.
Yeah, it's like they're gonna come 100 million light years to planet Earth just to take some stones from just some rocks or some gold. It's like, come on.
Oh, hi there, Night Spot. Nightbot.
Well, we're coming up to the top of the hour, fellas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks
All
for
right.
coming on.
It was
Geez.
a pleasure having you on here, Geezy. We'd like to have
Yeah,
you on
thank you
again
very much.
sometime. Yeah.
It was a pleasure, and I hope to see you guys more often. And take care, and thank you for all the hard work you guys do.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Thanks for being a part of it. And I'd
Yeah.
like to thank everybody for
And
joining.
you as well. You're a patriot. Keep up the good work,
Yeah.
Geese. Don't
Yeah.
give
Appreciate
up.
it. Likewise, take care.
All right. See
If you
you on
ever
the
feel
next
like
one.
giving up, get in contact with us, okay?
All right, you do it. You bet.
Okay, everybody.
Okay.
See you on the next one.